President Cyril Ramaphosa says land expropriation without compensation is the only way to rid the country of poverty. Prince Harry and American actress Meghan Markle break some royal traditions as they tie the knot. This is eNews at 7 p.m. I'm Tony Ndoro. Very good evening. Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa says land expropriation without compensation is the only way to eradicate poverty in South Africa. The ANC is holding a land summit this weekend to deal with the prickly issue. Ramaphosa believes the country will never be united unless the subject is properly addressed. The summit comes after Parliament voted in favor of amending the Constitution to allow for land expropriation without compensation. Lindoku Hlekulu has more.
Delegates here are looking at all aspects of land expropriation, including why it's taken so long to get it right. President Cyril Ramaphosa says expropriating land without compensation is now necessary.
Without the recognition of the property rights of all our people, we will not overcome inequality. Without giving the poor the means to productively work and farm the land, we will not be able to defeat poverty.
Some of the country's leading minds were also invited. Advocate Tembega Ngugaitobi says the Constitution has always given government the power to expropriate land without compensation.
We go from the common law, we go to the Constitution, we go to the expropriation regime. We have been enforcing a willing seller, willing buyer, which is in conflict with the Constitution. The common law has always enabled the legislature to pass a law that would entitle us to expropriate without compensation. The just and equitable model towards compensation has always enabled us to value the land sometimes at zero. Because if you look at history, at state investment and all of those things, this can be done at zero.
The ANC says this summit is just one of many workshops aimed at finding a solid solution to the country's land concerns. Lindoku Hlekulu, Boksburg.
The ANC cannot go into elections without dealing with political murders first. That's the word from ANC NEC member Jackson Tembu. He was among the dignitaries attending a funeral service for ANC member Musawenkosi Mkunu in Pietermaritzburg today. Party members from KwaZulu-Natal's Moses Mabhida region sang as they said goodbye to the fallen comrade. Mkunu was gunned down last week. Top ANC leaders are calling for urgent solutions to the reasons causing party members to be killed in the province. Unhappy party members want the upcoming conferences halted. Well, it is official now. Prince Harry and American actress Meghan Markle are now the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. They exchanged wedding vows at the St. George's Chapel in England. The couple has broken some royal traditions. Markle has not promised to obey her husband, while the Prince Harry has chosen to wear a wedding ring. Thousands lined up in Windsor today to wish the couple well.
I, Meghan, take you, Harry.
I, Meghan, take you, Harry.
A fairy tale wedding that's broken some royal traditions. From an animated American bishop,
the late Dr. Martin Luther King once said, and I quote, "We must discover the power of love, the redemptive power of love. And when we do that, we will make of this old world a new world."
And the moon is the only light we see.
To a choir that got the usually stiff singing along. Thousands of people gathered to watch Prince Harry and Meghan Markle tie the knot, but only 600 people made it into St. George's Chapel. Celebrities like David and Victoria Beckham, Idris Elba and Oprah being some of them. Markle wore a dress designed by Claire Waite Keller for Givenchy. As a symbol of inclusivity, her 5-meter-long veil depicts a trim of hand-embroidered flowers, representing each of the 53 Commonwealth countries. With the biggest smiles on their faces, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex emerged from the chapel sealing the deal with a kiss.
Now back home, officials are taking action against the police officers who turned away a family trying to report their child missing. 3 police officers from Mamelodi West will be served with suspension letters on Monday. The officers told Katlego Georgia's family to return after the 10-year-old had been missing for 24 hours. 3 days later, Georgia's body was found floating in a river. Malungelo Boy has more.
This is where Katlego Georgia's body was found 3 days after she had disappeared. Her family tried to report her missing that same day at the Mamelodi West police station, but they were told the police could only accept the report after 24 hours. 2 weeks later, Gauteng officials are not only promising action, but also an overhaul of the personnel at Mamelodi West.
There are about 3 people who are involved who actually misled the family, and those are the people that are being investigated. And on Monday we'll be serving them with a suspension letters. But there's also 2 senior people who were supposed to monitor the work of those 3 individuals that are also going to be removed from the station and be taken to other stations.
Residents paint a picture of a police station with untrusted and unreliable officers.
Uvuli case, not go to uvuli case, bake SMSela I case number nokuthi detective obano petty case. Usahlezi uzukhohlwa ukuthi wavula case. Lapho sozikhohlwa khona, mama, yimi detective engiphethe case yakho, nithi leadini.
Officials say this meeting with residents is one of many they'll be having across the province. Malungelo Boy, Mamelodi.
A joint operation between the Johannesburg Metro Police and the SAPS has yielded results. Officials have recovered ammunition and several firearms inside a red Audi in Fordsburg. The vehicle is believed to have been hijacked in Pretoria and may be linked to further crimes, including cash-in-transit heists. Kylie Kumalo filed this report.
This is where the scene where the police uncovered the weapon and, of course, the vehicle itself. And as I'm just talking to you, it's a very busy sign. The investigators are busy combing painstakingly this particular scene. But maybe just to get a sense exactly as to how has, the breakthrough been able to be uncovered by the police. We have the Johannesburg Metro Police's Superintendent, Wayne Minara. A very good evening to you, sir.
Good evening.
Do you want to just give us a sense as to how did you uncover this?
Yeah, just after 1 p.m. today, JMPD task team received information from the SAPS Crime Intelligence. This red Audi was in the parking lot of the Zoko flats when officers discovered that there was a balaclava and gloves inside the car. And when they looked in the boot, they saw AK-47, a R5 rifle, a revolver, 2 full magazines and 30 rounds of AK ammunition. The car was also established to be stolen, or hijacked rather. It was hijacked last month in Brooklyn, in Pretoria.
Certainly, it's quite a very enormous process from the side of the law enforcement agencies, as we have seen the spike in terms of the cash in transit heist. And of course, even experts are saying there has been a change in terms of the modus operandi, with a lot of usage of explosives in committing these crimes.
Okay, stay with us, because coming up after the break, former Western Cape Premier Ibrahim Rasool plans to refresh the ANC in the province ahead of the crucial 2019 elections. President Cyril Ramaphosa's Youth Employment Service initiative seems to be gaining momentum now. In his State of the Nation address, Ramaphosa said more than 1 million young South Africans will be getting paid work experience over the next 3 years. Today, he visited the Volvo assembly plant in Durban, where the Swedish vehicle manufacturer has recently relocated its assembly plant from Botswana. The company plans to invest over 20 million rand in internship training this year alone. The ANC's election head in the Western Cape says the party is forging ahead with rebranding. Ebrahim Rasool was appointed to lead the ANC's election campaign strategy in the region last month. That's despite the fact that he was removed as the province's premier in 2008. Rasool says the governing party in the province, the DA, has been unraveling itself with its battle against Cape Town Mayor Patricia de Lille. Artinasi has more.
He has unfinished business in the Western Cape. Ebrahim Rasool says he's making a comeback in order to renew the party. He says his time as an ambassador helped prepare him for his new role.
It was much more a way of doing global politics, but at the same time just detoxing myself from a very difficult situation out in South Africa, the battle around Jacob Zuma and Polokwane and so forth. And I think that it was just finding myself again.
Rasool says the party's campaign will be based on its previous track record.
Before the DA took over the Western Cape, it was leaving a Western Cape that had a 5.8% growth rate, 20,000 Bambananis that were able to keep people safe in their communities, a unemployment rate of 21%, which was about the best in the country, that we had major economic programs. We want to now attach the Western Cape to the hope and optimism that Cyril Ramaphosa has brought.
And he says the DA is helping the ANC strategy along.
The ANC doesn't have to do too much to help unravel the Democratic Alliance in the Western Cape. They're doing a great job by themselves.
This political analyst says Rasool's comeback is a strategic move for building party cohesion.
Rasool comes with possible a veritable footprint in the Western Cape, particularly amongst the Malay community. The challenge for the ANC in the province is that there's a bigger question of the national question in terms of governance.
But Naidu says a cloud of doubt still hangs over Rasool's involvement in what became known as the Brown Envelope scandal. It was alleged that during his time as premier, he paid journalists to write positive stories. Naidu adds that the DA's battles with Mayor Patricia de Lille come at the expense of their election campaign. Artinasi, Cape Town.
Let's go to some international news now, and we start in Cuba, where officials have declared 2 days of mourning after 100 people died in a plane crash. The 39-year-old Boeing 737 crashed shortly after taking off from Havana's main airport. 3 of the 110 passengers on board are known to have survived. Cuba's worst aviation disaster in 30 years. Officials are investigating the cause of the crash. Officials have handed out almost 18,000 masks in Hawaii's Kilauea volcano because of the volcano's eruption. Scientists are warning that this could be the beginning of more violent eruptions. They are citing a similar series of events in 1924 that lasted 2.5 weeks. The scientists warn that the masks do not protect against sulfur dioxide, a toxic gas that is still seeping from 21 cracks caused by the eruption. Hundreds of people have been forced to flee their homes since Kilauea's first eruption on the 3rd of May. As a recap of our main stories this evening now, President Cyril Ramaphosa says land expropriation without compensation is the only way to rid the country of poverty. Prince Harry and actress Meghan Markle break some royal traditions as they tie the knot. The break, we have your weather details, and then...
So darling, darling, stand by me.
We go back to the royal wedding and listen to a moving performance from the Kingdom Choir.
Good evening, everyone. Today brought cloudy and cool conditions all across the Highveld, and while we expect that cloud cover to hang around tomorrow into Sunday morning, by afternoon the area will become somewhat clearer. In the west, a cut-off low will continue to bring showers and thunderstorms to the Cape provinces, spreading eastwards as the day goes on, reaching the Free State as well as the northwest in the late afternoon and evening. And by later on in the day, there will still be a few light showers hanging around for some areas in the Western Cape. The city forecast shows the wet weather that's expected for the Northern Cape on Sunday, and there will be a gradual clearance taking place from further westwards, but the area remains cold, especially for the high-lying areas of this province. The Western Cape can expect a cooler day along with wet weather, thick cloud expected for the province, and these conditions will continue spreading further eastwards across the Eastern Cape during the course of Sunday, reaching Mthatha as well as Port St. John's towards evening. KwaZulu-Natal stays dry for the meantime with lots of sunshine. This will push temperatures up by a couple of degrees, reaching the mid-20s for most of the province. It should be a fantastic afternoon. Fairly cloudy to start off the day in Mpumalanga, but the afternoon will be partly cloudy, and on the Highveld some areas stay below 20 degrees Celsius. There will be light morning rain for the escarpment of Limpopo, but by afternoon that will have dried up, and at the same time it becomes partly cloudy for the area. In the northwest, on the other hand, showers and thunderstorms will be reaching the western half of the province during the course of the afternoon and evening, potentially reaching Klerksdorp much later on. And in the Free State, we'll also expect some of that wet weather to spread into this province. But for now, it looks as though Bethlehem and Harrismith should remain dry for your Sunday. And finally, for Gauteng, it's going to be a partly cloudy afternoon over the province. That increased sunshine will help to push the temperatures up just a little. Moving ahead to your conditions for Monday, and we are expecting a front to reach the southwestern parts of the country, bringing some rain to Cape Town. And on Tuesday, it remains clear and dry in KwaZulu-Natal, another fantastic warm day in the area, and similar conditions into parts of Limpopo and Mpumalanga.
And finally, one of the most talked about moments at the royal wedding was the performance by gospel group Kingdom Choir. Now, they are celebrated globally with several awards to their credit. The Southeast of England Choir performed Benny King's classic love song, Stand By Me.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we see, no, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Ooh, stand by me. Hey, yes.
Right, here's a recap of your main stories tonight. President Cyril Ramaphosa says land expropriation without compensation is the only way to rid the country of poverty. Prince Harry and American actress Meghan Markle break some royal traditions as they tie the knot. That's it from myself and the team for tonight. Good night. We'll see you again tomorrow.